Mummification. There are 7 steps in mummification. The first one is the announcement of the dead, embalming the body, removal of the brain, removal of the internal organs, drying out process, wrapping the body, and the final procession. So we're going to start with the first one, which is announcement of the dead. Playing the dead is Sarah, who's dead. It's fun. And we're going to cover her with this towel. That way we don't get any of her internal organ juice on her. I'm going to leave a little bit of the left side over, that way I can slit it. Now.
The second part is embalming of the body. Embalmers select special tents or buildings, which were called workshops, and maintained a team of priests. Sometimes the priests left the building due to the smell. The third part was removal of the brain. Egyptians didn't know the purpose of the brain, so they thought it was a waste of space. To extract the brain, a hook was inserted through the nose and pulled out as much as they could and put water in to dissolve. Some of the people thought it was thrown out because they took it to the burial chamber.
For substitution of a hook, we did have a straw, which is over there at this moment. So, to remove the brain, they would break the nose, which we're not going to do. And they would insert the hook into the nostril, like so. But they would shove it up farther. They would twist it, they would get the brain out, which we've already done. So, here we go. That's mashed potatoes with red food coloring in it.
Next to be removed were the internal organs, the liver, lungs, and stomach, and intestines. A small slit was made on the left side of the mummy. Embalmers reached and pulled out the organ. Each organ was individually mummified and then sorted in little coffins called carriage jars. There were 4 jars for each organ. These jars were protected by the 4 studs of forest. Once each organ was removed, the inside of the body was washed out with palm oil, lotions, and preserving fluids. Next, the body was stuffed with lime, straw, or other parking materials to keep the general person.
Okay. So the first thing we're going to remove is the intestines, maybe, if I can get this to say. Which we substituted for lasagna noodles, which have been cut up into littler spaces. We have a whole jar full. She had a lot of intestines. And next was the liver, which we have substituted cow liver. This is actual cow liver. It's been processed, it's been cut. It was stuffed in a bag. We bought it, and now it's Sarah's liver. Which won't come out because the jar is like 10 times too big for it. And then we had the lungs. Which we substituted roast beef. So now we get to tell you how she died. This guy came up to her, decided he didn't like her, speared her, and she speared her into her lung. So both of her lungs are broke. This is the right lung. This is the left lung. Then we have the stomach. We substituted a pink blue part, and it's filled with water, so it's just like a stomach, only it's a little bit smaller. So she died with a full stomach. This usually would go into a canopic jar, but we don't have one that's big enough for it will not bust. So we just let it out in the open.
You were supposed to tell me when I was going to finish up. This is the time. This is scheduled.
The body was placed on a slab with either person or no strong slab. The slab was tilted so that the water could run off into a basin. This removed moisture and prevented rotting. The body was taken outside and let to dry for about 40 days. Once the body was dried, the wrapping began.
40 days later,